Okay, we've all been there, right? You're staring at a book, trying to pick up a new skill, and you just feel completely stuck. Well, today we are unlocking a really simple but powerful 3-part playbook that's going to help you break through any learning wall, whether it's a new language or some super complex subject.
You know that feeling? You're putting in the hours, you are really trying, but you've hit a plateau. That initial excitement is gone, and now it's just frustration. And let me tell you, that exact feeling is probably the #1 reason most of us give up on our goals.
So, what is actually going on here? Well, we get caught in this cycle of feeling totally overwhelmed. And it's not because we aren't trying hard enough. It's because we're trying to do way too much all at once, and our brains just can't handle it.
Does this sound familiar? You're trying to soak up every single detail, every grammar rule, every line of code, every single date in history. But instead of getting clearer, everything just gets more confusing. This approach isn't just inefficient, it's completely draining. But don't worry, there is a much smarter way to learn.
All right, our first principle has nothing to do with textbooks or special techniques. It's all about your mindset. You see, before you can master any subject, you've got to master your own thinking first.
We all have that little voice in our head, right? That internal monologue. But here's the thing, those aren't just thoughts. That self-doubt you see on the left literally puts your brain into stress mode, which makes it physically harder to learn anything new. By just shifting your thinking to what's on the right, you're not just being positive, you're actually creating the perfect brain chemistry for absorbing information.
This right here, this is the absolute core of a winning mindset. Mistakes aren't proof that you're failing. They are the learning process. Every single error is just a piece of data, another stepping stone. Smart learners don't run from mistakes. They welcome them as free lessons.
Okay, so once you've got the right mindset locked in, we can move on to principle #2. Now it's time to get strategic about where you're putting all that amazing energy. This isn't about working harder, it's all about working smarter.
You might have heard of this before. It's the 80-20 rule, and for learning, it is an absolute game changer. The big idea is that a tiny fraction of what you do, just 20% of your effort, is going to produce the vast majority, 80% of your results. Your mission is to find that super powerful 20%.
So instead of trying to learn everything at once and spreading your energy thin, you want to laser focus on the few vital things that give you the biggest bang for your buck. So what does that actually look like?
Well, for anyone learning a language, it means focusing on the most common words. Get this, if you just learned the 1,000 most frequently used words in English, you can understand about 80% of most everyday conversations. That is a huge return on your time and energy.
And that brings us to our third and final principle, which is designed to defeat the biggest enemy of learning, procrastination. Now, this one might feel a little backwards, but I promise you it's the real key to building unstoppable momentum.
Come on, we all do this. We wait for inspiration to magically appear. We wait for that perfect moment when we suddenly feel energized and ready for a huge study session. The only problem is that perfect moment almost never comes.
Here is the secret, and it's so important. We've got it all backwards. We think that motivation comes first, and then we take action. But in reality, it's the other way around. Action is what creates motivation. The simple act of starting, even in the tiniest way, is what builds the drive to keep going. So how do you use this? You break it down into something laughably small. Forget, I'm going to study for 2 hours. Nope. Your goal is just 5 minutes. Listen to one podcast. Learn 3 new vocab words. That tiny, super easy action gives you a feeling of accomplishment, a little win. And that feeling right there is the spark that builds real, lasting motivation. So let's put this all together. These aren't just 3 random tips. They're a complete system, a playbook for learning anything more effectively. It's a simple 3-step process. First, you win the battle in your mind, swapping out self-doubt for a can-do attitude. Then you use the 80-20 rule to focus your precious energy only on what truly matters. And finally, you use tiny actions to beat procrastination and build momentum day after day after day.
So really, the big question isn't about some massive long-term goal. It's about right now. What is one tiny 5-minute action you can take today to put this playbook to work? Because that small step, that's almost always the most important one you'll ever take.